My name is Evaristo Salas. I'm running for the Sunnyside School Board, District 3. Evaristo Salas is E-V-A-R-I-S-T-O, Salas, S-A-L-A-S.
Awesome. My first question for you is, why are you running for school?
Well, I grew up in Sunnyside, born and raised. I went to the schools, and I'm running for that kid who feels that his voice is not being heard, or he feels neglected by the school system, or maybe he's made a couple bad choices and feels that he can't move past that because they can't see past it. I'm running for that single mother who sees the potential in her child, but has to convince the people around her at the school or the people in the school to see that too. I'm running for the people of Sunnyside who feel like they're not being heard by the school board or being listened to. And since I'm from the community, I want to build those connections or rebuild those connections and make sure that the people of Sunnyside, the citizens, these kids, these single mothers, that their voices are being heard, and that they can approach, or they can feel that if they see a school board member, they can just approach them and explain to them the issues that they're facing and that they're going to be heard. So my main purpose is the children and the people of Sunnyside. So,
how do you think your experience as being a resident of Sunnyside for most of your life is going to help you in this position?
Well, I come from the community. I understand its struggles. I come from that struggle. Born and raised there. I understand the schools. I've been there, and I felt at times that I wasn't being listened to, and bringing that perspective, it gives you a certain amount of compassion for those people that are struggling in the same way. It opens your heart to them, and I think that's one of the strong points that you need. When you get in a place of leadership, and you're supposed to be an example, or you're a representative of that community, you have to allow yourself to see them in a compassionate way. You have to understand their struggles in a personal way, or else they're not going to relate to you, or they're not going to feel that you represent them the right way.
What changes would you implement if you were elected?
The biggest changes would be is building that connection with the community. I feel that the school board right now doesn't have it, and it could be for a number of reasons. Maybe they're just focused on things, or there's a lot of issues they got to deal with. But I think that's the most important aspect of it. If you represent somebody, they have to have that connection. They have to feel that they're being heard, because then you lose it. And I feel that that's what it needs. I think we need to get out there in the community. We need to ask them what issues that they feel they are. I've done a bunch of canvassing in the last couple of months, and some of the issues I didn't even know about, but I had to go out there and listen to them, to hear about them. One of them being the busing. A lot of the bus drivers feel that the schools have different strategies. Every school has a different strategy on how the buses are approached, what time. That makes it harder for them. Some of them feel that the security could be a little more transparent with each other, that they don't collaborate a lot, and sometimes they form barriers that kind of way. These are issues that I didn't know until I actually spoke to them. So I think it's important that you get out there in the community, you go door to door if that's what it takes, or you offer yourself a place where they don't feel like, maybe intimidated by the environment. And so I feel that we need to build that up, and we need to have that connection. Second thing is I think that we need to explain what the budget is. The points, and we have to speak in the way they speak and in their language. And what I mean by that is that I've been to budget hearings, and it's hard to understand when they're using certain phrases and big words. Sometimes you have to go to school for that kind of stuff. They need to bring it to the people and explain to them, because the citizens of Sunnyside are really given. They're willing to make sacrifices even when they're struggling already, if it's for something good. And I think that's where the school board fails, because they're trying to do things good. Just explain it in a better way, and you'll get that support. And so I think that's what we need to focus on. So.
You answered my questions perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you would like to speak upon or advocate for?
Well, I think that when it comes to Sunnyside, that we have to put the people of Sunnyside first, especially their kids. I work with at-risk kids, gang-impacted kids, and I think we have to approach that. And when it comes to that, we have to remember that we need to create an environment where it's inclusive, where the kids feel safe, where they feel understood. And the only way we do that is by approaching them with compassion, even with the kids that don't really are struggling or making bad choices, because that's where we show the community who we really are and where our heart's at. So.